closers, welcome to another Money Minute. Listen, there's a lot of books on sales and a lot of tools out there, but the one that I found personally valuable is one that I actually learned from Mickeli. It's called the commitment contract. So Mickeli, in this episode, let's unpack what that is and the value that it brings to the sales process.
Yeah, commitment contract, joint execution plan. Like there's a bunch of names for these, depending on who you're listening to. But the concept is it's the removal of surprises. It is the menu of expectations for both parties. And it is kind of our oath to one another that we're going to do what we say we're going to do during the timeline that we say we're going to do it. And the end result will be this or that. It sets the expectation of we're not messing around here. We are professional. We've got a great product or service for your pains and challenges. We've been here before. We've helped others just like you. Third party proof, right? Mm-hmm. And so here's how we run our sales process. Is there anything that you see here that you cannot commit to today, right? Or over the next 3 to 6 months or whatever it is. Right. And you always write it in a way that's just like, hey, we're going to have this conversation. And at the end of it, you're going to find value or not. And then at the end of it, you can bow out and say, you know what, I don't think this is going to be a fit. Right. The other thing is, okay, so if this goes well, then we're going to move to the next step of the process. The next step of the process is this. And this is how much time is required. Here's who should be there. And we like to do it within 5 to 7 days of the last 3 to 5 days of the last conversation we had. Any issues with that? No. Okay. Once that one goes well, what we do is let's just make a proposal kind of thing where we go in detail with the return on investment, with the stuff that the pains and challenges you told me, the solution. We go into detail the solution. La 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 la. Does that yeah, okay. And then after that, what we do is we get your legal team involved. We want to do that prior to us putting together a real contract and la 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 to make sure that there's no red lines or something that neither one of us can agree on. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. And then here's how we take automatic payment. Now, again, I'm just being just a role, but at the same time, setting those things up in the beginning via this commitment contract is so crucial because it removes all the surprises and they agreed to it. So if they say, well, I didn't know this proposal thing was coming, or sorry, I didn't know we had to engage our legal. Well, yeah, you did, because you're always updating it. So every time a step is done, we check it off, right? We agree to the next step, right? We follow up with that. And that little commitment contract is always included in our correspondence. So it's always there with whatever else we need to provide them. But that way they see it and they're like, okay, yep. And there's no surprises. They can share it with the other decision makers. The decision makers know.
Coming down the pipeline, yeah.
Exactly. And it just it does a lot of the selling for you, because again, it's the buyer experience that we're focused on, right? We know we can help them, but they don't. So this is one of those steps that allows the buyer to say, wow, these guys are really buttoned up. I bet the implementation or I bet the service that I'm considering is equally going to be buttoned up. And it would be, and it will be, right?
Oh, 100%. And, the other cool part about it is it's customized for the industry that you're selling into, right? So if you're selling into SaaS and you know that legal, to your point, has to redline it, and they go, oh, they know they've done this enough times that they know that this is going to be a potential roadblock. That gives me a little bit more confidence that they know what they're doing.
Well, and in some cases, like, let's say you're new. Let's say you were right out of college or right out of high school, you're jumping into your sales thing. This will be a little bit harder because you haven't had the reps, right?
Right.
But you will, or just talk to someone else you work with. But if you have had the reps, if you're selling what you're selling, my hope is that that it actually can help the other person.
Right.
So when legal needs to get involved, so you can update your contract the way, whatever the flow is of other buyer journeys. When you find kind of consistent flow of other buyer journeys, like, okay, legal needs to get in here or whatever, you can update, your contract, commitment contract, by the way. And it's not a contract, but it is a document if you want it to be, or it could be an email. That's up to you. I like a document that's a shareable document that they can click on too. So we can both click the X's by each step, because again, it's unification. We're on the same team here.
We're on the same page.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, closers. This has been another Money Minute. If you like what you heard here, join us next month for Coffee and Closers. See you then.
Money, 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 money.